Many of you have encountered this particular error in the real estate Dapp project which we have built. So this is the playlist which I'm talking about, and thus we have built the real estate Dapp. So if you haven't watched, make sure to follow that. So a lot of you have asked me this question, that some of you are facing this particular error message called unauthorized. And the reason why we are having this particular issue, because if you come back to the Thirdweb, what they did in the last month of August, they have changed their terms and policies. So if you want to use this service, you have to use their client ID. So you have to generate your API key, which is very easy, I'll tell you, and that's what you have to configure in your application. So this problem is happening to very few students who have built this particular project, and some of them have successfully configured. I'll tell you how you can configure that as well. But you can see in my case and in some of the other students who have built this particular project before August, when there was no need of API, they are having this particular issue because somehow their device is connected. So if I come back here, you can see I'm getting this particular error message. I don't know why I'm not able to fetch my contract. And you can see here we have the API, but if I come back to the device sections, my device is already connected. And this is the one, somehow it's creating the problem. I asked the problem in the Discord server, but no one have response me. So I thought let's switch the table and try to build the application, do the configuration without the Thirdweb. So that is what I'm going to talk about in this video. You can see this contract is not able to fetch the metadata of the contract, which is coming from the IPFS, and here you can see we have this unauthorized, but here we have configured our application, but still we are getting the undefined. So this is the code which is given to all of you in the project. I hope you guys have watched and you guys have built this particular project. Now what I'm going to do is, let's come back here. So this is the issue we have. If we come back to the here in the info section, you can see no information, everything is undefined, even the contract is undefined. If I come back here in the file, let me make it a little bigger. So this is the one. Let's open this one, and if I go back to the client, inside this context, here we have this index.js, and somehow this contract is not getting to us. If I do the console log, you will see the problem which I'm trying to highlight. So I'll say contract, and let's try to log the contract. So this is the contract, and that's what we try to log it. Now, if I save it, if I come back to the browser, if I reload the page, you can see that still I'm getting nothing. Here it says that I'm getting some sort of error message. So here, okay, my bad. So I have to give this comma, and that will fix the issue. Now I can reload the page, and still I'm getting any warning? No, I'm not getting. Here you can see the contract is undefined because of this unauthorization. Our contract API is not able to fetch from the IPFS, because what Thirdweb does, it deploy your API to the Thirdweb IPFS, and then from there we can fetch it and we can call the information. So that's the issue we have. So I've already fixed this particular one. Again, if you guys not watch this playlist, make sure to watch. In this I've explained everything, that how you can build that. Now let's talk about the fix you have to do. So this is the code which is given to all of you guys, and if I come back, I can simply close this project. So in this particular file, I have done all the modifications. So here we are using Thirdweb, and here we are not using Thirdweb. We are going with a normal manual approach. So I'm going to stop the application from running, and let's stop it. Now I have to go to this particular folder. So I'll say cd ... and I will get out of that final. Now let's say cd ... Now here I'm in the main directory. You can see this is the main directory we have, and in that I have to call simply, let me show you first. Let's go into that. See, we'll say cd final code update, and this is the exact process you have to follow. So I am in this particular directory, and we have these two folder. So this one is for the contract. Let's make on the big screen and let me show you. So if I bring this down before I run, this is the new update I have done. So in this particular one, you have this web3. In this we have done the configuration for the Thirdweb as per their requirement, but you don't need to worry about that. So simply close this one, and you have to follow the exact configuration which I have done here. So here I will show you both the configuration, that how you can use it manually in the local system and how you can use any test network like Polygon. So this is the artifact which you will get. This is the cache, and here we have the contract. So this is the contract we have written in our project. This is a huge contract, and that will teach you a lot of things about the smart contract development. So make sure to come and have a look. So this is what we have, and here we have the script. Let's come back here. So we are simply deploying the contract to the network. So if you want to deploy to the local, you can simply give local, or if you want to deploy to the in network, you can give that. So that's what we have. If I come back to the package.json file, here you will find that here we have this 3 packages. We are using Nomic Foundation Hardhat Toolbox, and we are using the Hardhat this particular version. So again, I would suggest you use this particular version in this particular project, and that's the only thing you have to do. And here we have the client, and here I have done the changes. So let me first run the application and let me show you. So let's start the application. So I have already deployed the contract to the Polygon. So I will show you the both methods. Let's see the Polygon first, and I can simply type npm I and hit enter. So when you will get the code, all you have to do is you have to install the packages. So here I've installed the packages. So that's what you have to do. First you have to install the packages, and now you have to type. So now we can run the application. So I have already deployed the contract to the Polygon. So the very first thing you have to do when you will get the source code, you have to come back into this folder and make sure to install the packages. So I have already installed the packages which is there, and I have to install this particular package which I have already done it. And these are the packages we are using. So here you can see we are not using Thirdweb. So I have done the modification in the packages. We are using the Web3 model. Make sure to use this particular version. We are using counter, and this is the version, and this is the pretty simple. Now what I will do, I'll simply open that, and I have already installed that. First I have to get into this particular client folder. So let's say cd client client, hit enter. Here I am, and now I have to start the application. Type npm run dev, and here the application got started. And as I told you that I have already done the modification and deployed the contract to the Polygon, which I will show you, and I have already showed 100 of time in our other project. So if I come back here in the browser, and if I go to the application, and if I try to reload that one, here you can see that this time we are not having any issue. If I come back to this, we have no issue. If I open this one, here you can see we have already deployed one NFT to the Polygon. If I click on that, I can able to fetch that informations. It's taking a little bit time. You can able to see the comments. You can able to see the interested user, and I'm the owner, so I cannot buy this particular property. If I want to give the comment, I can do that. I can simply open it, and I can come back here, and I can give that. Okay, you can simply copy this particular text, and you can simply give the. So it looks fine. The transaction taking place. So just a moment. Here I have to pick the account. So I'll go back to the account 1. Let's switch back to the account 1, and this will speed up the transaction. If you want, you can do that. So it's taking a little bit time. Just be patient. And once the transaction will complete, it's going to reload the page, and here the transaction is completed, and here we have got the data. So if you come back here, this is the transaction details we have. If you open this one, you got the comment. So everything is working fine. If I want to create, I can simply come back here in the create section, and I have also done the changes here in the create field. So earlier we provided 2 methods for creating the NFT. First, based on the URL. So if a user has a image URL, he can paste and he can provide that instead of uploading. But here we have this upload function, so I'm not going to provide the URL. That's the change that I have done. I'll show you how you can do that. So let's click on that. But before I do that, I have to simply clear my MetaMask history, otherwise the transaction will fail, because this is the weird problem we have in our MetaMask whenever we do the changes in the account. So click on that, and here we have to pick. So I'm going to pick this particular NFT image. I'll give the title. So I'll say Daulat Hussain, and I have to pick the category. Again, I have explained all of this. So this NFT is for commercial, and I have to give the description. So I can come back here, and let me get this some dummy text. Let's get this one, and if you need the source code, you can simply come and you can get that. And this is the one we have. Let's give the price, and I'm deploying on the Polygon, so not a big deal. Let's call it 15 Mathi. It's going to be the price, and click on this create. Here it's loading, and it's going to open the MetaMask. And earlier we had an issue that our contract was calling twice, and because of that we had to make the first contract call, and the second contract failed. I hope you guys haven't forgot the issue we had. So I'll click on this. I have already fixed that issue as well in this particular one. That is very minor. So I'll show you. The transaction is completed, and here the page is reload. If you come back here, and you will find the image. Okay, can you guess why we have this particular issue, that why this particular image is broken? Because we are uploading the image to the IPFS. So I made a mistake that I have to upload the image. Let's pick the image, and here I have to click on this upload image, because we are uploading the image straight away to the IPFS through Pinata So that's why we have to do the upload here. Then I can give the name. I can say Hussain. I can pick the category. I can give the description. I can give the price. And now I can simply make a call. This time you will see that we have no issue. Confirm. And transaction is still taking place. So just a moment. Again, it's taking a little bit time, and here the transaction is completed and the page is will reload. Okay, the page is reloaded successfully. If you come back here in the home page, and you will find the accounts you have created. If you go back to the author page, here you will find the NFT you owned and the NFT you have created. So if you click on this all NFT, you will not find the update information. You can see it's looking fine, but if you click on here, you will see you will have a button which you can use to update that. So let's update this particular NFT details. So you can update very easily. You can simply select here and you can give the name, and you can update, or you can pass the URL. Okay, you can update all the information. So that looks pretty fine to me. All the data we are getting from the Polygon straight away, so everything else thing is working fine. If you come back here in the explore section, we have the activity. Click on that and here you will find all the information about the NFT. So we have the NFT, all their details, and here you will find the information about the total property, user, review, housing, all the category. And if you click here, you will get the highest and popular property. So click on that, it will take you to this particular one, and here we have built the logic that how we are getting this highest property. So make sure to watch the complete project. Okay, make sure to follow this complete project, that will give you idea. Now come back to the code. We have no issue in this particular code. We have fixed all the bugs, and we are using all the manual configuration instead of using the Thirdweb. Now let's talk about the changes you have to do. Come back here in the context, and here we have this. First, here you can see we have the addresses. So this one is the local, which I will show you how you can test it locally, and this is the Polygon. So when you will get the code, it's already deployed to the Polygon, and you're going to interact with the contract which I have deployed. You can simply change the address and it will work fine. So close that one, come back here in the index, and let me get you through the source code. So here earlier we used the Thirdweb configuration, but here we are not using Thirdweb. So make sure to do with this, use this Ether package, use this Web3 model, and here we have the ABI and the address imports, and here I have the fetch contract. So this is the function you have to build which allow you to fetch the contract. So we have called this fetch contract. We are providing the provider, and in that we are passing the address and the ABI. Now here we have the another function which allow us to connect with the contract. So again, we can do one thing. I was testing differently, so remove this one. You can remove that one. It's totally optional. So make sure to call this one on. Here we are calling this Web3 model connect. We are getting the provider, we are getting the signer, and that's what we are providing in our fetch contract. So that's the provider we are providing, whoever is interacting, and at the end we are returning the contract. So this is the changes you have to create. This two function you have to create. Again, I have explained this two function extensively in our NFT project. So if you haven't built, make sure to build that. That will teach you a lot of things. So these are the two functions we have. Now here we have the state context. Here we have taken all the variables. So like the current account balance, user balance, and here we have the get highest rated product. And here we have this particular function which allows us to connect with the wallet. So we are simply calling straight away, getting the account and setting that account to our state variable, current account. That's what we have here. So this is a check. If is wallet connected, then we are simply calling the function. And this is the same function which allows the user to click and connect with the wallet. So close that one. And here we have the create property. Here we have the create property. So we are getting all of this data, title, description, category, price, image, and address from the form, because it will come in the form of object. We are deconstructing that, and then we are calling this particular function connecting with the smart contract. Like this is the function we are calling, and it's going to return the contract address. Hope things are clear to all of you guys. And if I come back here, we are getting the contract address, we are getting the address of the user by calling this particular function, and that's what we are simply passing in the transaction, because our contract need the address, price, property, category, image, property address, and description. So that's what we are providing, and then we are simply waiting for the transaction to be complete. Then we are consoling, log out the information, and reloading page. So that's what we are doing. Hope so far things are clear to all of you guys, and this is the pattern we have followed extensively in the NFT project. So make sure to follow the NFT project if you have any confusions about the modification we are doing here, because in this project earlier we used Polygon, which took a lot of work away from us. But right now those of you are facing the problem in the Polygon due to the unauthorization, make sure to follow this approach. It will work fine. So this is the create property, and this is the update property. Again, we are getting all the information, we are getting the contract, we are getting the addresses, and we are updating. And here we are simply reloading the page. So this is the update property function. Close that one. Here we have the update price function, simply calling the contract function, getting the address, passing this information in the contract function, and consoling log that. So that's the price updates. Now we have the buy property function. So this is what we have. First we are getting the information about the product ID and the amount. Then we are converting that amount, getting the contract, getting the address, and passing that in the function. That's the buy property function. Now if we talk about this add review function, here we have the add review function. You can keep it or you can ignore, because every transaction will cost money, so taking money for the review, that's not a good idea. So you can add it, it's totally optional one. So again, we are getting the contract, we are getting the wallet, and we are providing the transactions, and here we are calling the function. So this is the add review function. Now here we have this like review. Again, we are getting the information, we are passing the information to the contract and reloading page. Same step we have to follow here. And now we have the read property. So this functions will allow us to read the data from the contract. So we're getting the contract, getting the function get all property, and this will return the all property. And here we are passing in form of array. That's what you have to do. So this is the read property. Now this is the highest rated product function. So this will return the highest product, the highest property rated product. That's the function we have. Here we have the get product review function. So this will give you the review of the product. So we are get the contract, product ID, and then you have to pass the information at the end. You have to return. It will return in the form of array. That's what we have. Now here we have the get property function. So this will return a single property. So first make a call, then format the data, and at the end return the data as a form of object. So this is the property function. Here we have the get user property function. So this will return all the property listed by the user. Same approach, getting the contract, getting the addresses, calling the function, and here we are returning the data. It will return in the form of array. Close that one, and here we have this get user review function. So you can user can get the review or whatever provided here, and that's what we are simply returning, and it will return in the form of array. Close this one. This is the total property. So we give you the length of the property, that how many properties are listed. Again, every single thing I have covered in the course, in the project where we have built the smart contract. So make sure to follow that particular playlist. Everything would be clear, and you can easily able to do this modification very easily. So this is the property, this is the review function, which you don't need to worry about that, and we are getting that, which we are displaying in the activity tab. So close that one, and here we are simply calling the function like highest rated product, get user review function, total property function, and total review function. And here we have done the changes. So that's all we have done. Here we have taken this current wallet, user, current account, account balance, and these are the functions we have already done in the project. So this is the modification you have to do here, and it is absolutely fine. You will not have any issue if you want to use this as a custom to interact with the smart contract, deploy and make the connection without Thirdweb. So this is the first set of changes you have to do, and now you have to do the second set of changes. Like you can come back to the pages, and here we have this index, and here you can see no need to do any changes. Here we have that all the information. We have the internal import, here we have the loading state, and here we have this current. So earlier we imported the address and the contract, but make sure to import this current account, and here you have to call this particular function. Here we have this one, and it's just simply here, and here we have this all information. So that's all the changes you have to do here in the index page. Now let's talk about the changes you have to do in the create page, because that one is very important, and I talked about that. So here we are in the create page. Come back in the create 2. Inside that you have to do the changes. So this is fine. This is what we have done in the project. This is what we have done. This is absolutely fine. No need to do any changes. This is also great, and this is the old configuration I have done. So this is the old function. So what I did in this, like here we have this state hook. Here we are calling this particular function check if image exists, and the reason why we have built in this particular function in the project, because we allow user to paste the URL of the image. So when you are allowing that feature, you can simply include this function and you can check whether the URL is a valid one or not. So that's what we have built. Again, I'm not going to get into this detail. And then then we are simply making the call to our API. And because of this check, it was calling our contract twice, and that's the issue we had. So I simply comment this function. I did the modification in the function. So this is the new function we have right now. So first we are calling this function, we are making it true, and then we are simply deconstructing the data which we have here. So this is the entire data we have in the form in form of object, and that's what we are deconstructing here. Here I'm simply consoling log out the data, and here we are checking for the condition, that check for the image, check for the title, check for the price, check for the category and description. If it exists, then only call this function which we have called create property function, and we are passing the price and all the data, and then we are simply closing the state. And that's the only changes you have to do here. That's the only changes, and this will fix the issue. And here these are the same old function we have built in the project, so I'm not getting into that detail, and that's the only thing. Now if I come back here, and here I have done the one thing, like here you can see I have simply comment this particular block, because this time we are allowing user to simply upload the image. So if I bring it back, if I go back here, if I go to the, if I reload the page, you can see no issue we have. Come back here, go to the create one, and here we have the image. You can keep it or you can avoid it, it's totally up to you, because here we can allow the user to upload, so it's better to remove this one. So I'm going to comment this, and we not have that one. So make sure to do these changes, and the rest should be fine. So the rest should be fine, absolutely no need to do any changes here. So simply close this one and close this one. Now if I come back here, if I go to the home, if I click on this housing, so no housing we have. If I click on the office, no office. If it's farmhouse, no farmhouse. What's the category I have given? Okay, both the one belongs to the rental. So this is working fine. You can see we have no issue in this project. Every single thing is working fine. And now you guys have know that how you can do the configuration. And by the way, if you want the source code, you can simply come back here. I'll provide the link and you can get that. You can get that, the source code. Okay, so you can get that one. So now let's come back here. So this looks fine. And some of you have asked me that you guys want to use in the local system instead of Polygon. So I'll show you that bit as well. So if I open that, let me stop the application and let's clear that one. So first thing I have to do is I have to simply what I can do, I can get into this contact folder because I have to start the local node. So I'll say cd dot dot, it will take me to the main directory, this one. Now I have to get into this particular one. So I'll say cd contract contract. Here I am. Now if you haven't installed the node modules, make sure to install the packages we have. After that you have to type this npx hardhat node, and here you can see I'm getting this particular error message. Some of you have got the same error message. So for that you have to do is, let's bring this back and come back here in the config file. So this time we are checking for the locally, so we're going to simply comment this portion, comment this deploy to the Polygon, and here we have this one, this particular one. So uncomment this because we are testing locally, so now it will work fine. So make sure to use the exact version we are using here of the Sorority, and don't try to use any other version. So make sure to open this one and clear the terminal, and now let's run the command. And this time, and here you can see our local node is started and we got 20+ account. You can easily able to import this account by simply copy the private key in your MetaMask. Now let me split the terminal, and now let's deploy that. So I want to deploy to the locally, so let me write the command. So just a moment, and here we have this particular script which you have to type, npx hardhat run local network localhost script. So if you call enter, it's going to deploy the contract, and here it's compiled successfully, and I can simply copy the address and I'm going to bring it down. If I come back here, it will give me the artifact. So if you make any changes in the contract, then you can simply drag and drop the artifact here in the context, but I haven't done any changes, so I can go with the same API because there is no changes in the contract. So I can simply close that one, and if I come back to the context, and here you can see this is the address I got it, I can simply paste it, I can simply comment this portion. So this is the address I got it. If I open that, I can show you this is the exact address we have here. So make sure to do these changes, and now you are ready to interact with the local node, local host. So let's come back here and let's go back to the client folder. So I'll say cd dot dot, and make sure to this will keep running. If you stop this, your application will not work, your contract will not work, because this is our local node. So we are in the main directory. Now we have to go to the client, client client. Here we are. Now we can type npm run dev, and here the application got started. Pretty good. Now if I come back in the browser, go back to the applications, reload the page, it will automatically reload. And here you can see we are getting this particular error message because we are not connected with the local host, we are connected with the Polygon. So all you have to do is come back here, error message, so simply switch back to the local host, click on that. Now we have to switch back to the account 2 because by default Hardhead will take this account 2, and this is the account by default Hardhead used to deploy a contract, and that's what I have imported as an account 2. So let me clear this and reload the page. Right now you will not have an issue. So let's call this one enter. Pretty good. Reload the page. We are not having any issue. You can see we are connected with it successfully. We are connecting with it successfully, and now I can simply come here, I can clear this, reload the page. You can see it will automatically open the MetaMask. You can see I'm connected. Now if I simply log out and reload the page, it's going to open the MetaMask automatically. So everything is working fine, we are not getting any issues. So make sure to change the network, hit enter and reload the page. Make sure to change the network. I did. Now I have to simply clear the history, advance, and now I can create. So you can come back here, pick the image, let's call the blockchain coder, pick the category, give the description. Yeah, I can give that, give, and click on this create. It's going to open MetaMask, confirm, and the transaction went through. You can see how quickly it's went through because we are testing locally. If you come back here in the home page, the image, we have not forgot to upload the image, that's why you can see the image is broken, but it's working broken. So what I can do, I can come back and I can create another one. So let's call it, and we can say upload. We can call this, let's call housing, let's give description, price, and fine. So we have uploaded the image. This is how the preview will look like. Click on this create, is going to make the call, and here we have reloaded. If you come back to the home page, and here we have the information about the NFT, click on that, and there it is. So things are looking pretty fine. Things are looking pretty fine, and we have no issue in the project. So I hope you guys got an idea that how you have to run this application. So like once you will download the source code, you will get these two things. I'm going to provide you all of this, but I'm going to remove my private key. All you have to do is to provide your private key here, and things will look fine. So this is the exactly piece of code you will get in the final code. So make sure you guys have understood that what you have to do and how you can run the application. So we have already covered all of this, like the starter file, we have covered the final code, all of this in the project, and here we have this testing. So where we have done the testing of all the contract and connection, and here we have, you will get all the templates. So you can see we have so many templates. This is what you will get in the final project, the template, the source code which I have provided to all of you guys. So you will get the complete template. I have already explained in this particular playlist that what are the things you will get once you download with the source code. So make sure to check that. So these are the things I'm going to provide. So this is the, if you guys are facing any issue with the Thirdweb, then make sure to run this one. But if you're not facing any issue with the Thirdweb, so you can simply go with this approach and simply configure your client, create an API and configure this. That's the only thing you have to do. So if you are new to this project and if you haven't created an account with a Thirdweb, then you will not have any issue. But if you have an old account, then it will create an issue. In that sense, you can go with this particular code. So with that, I'm ending this video. Hope you guys have liked this. If you are still have any confusion, any doubt, make sure to ask me, and you can follow the entire playlist. That will teach you a lot of things. Okay, instead of simply taking and copy and paste, make sure to follow the entire project. That will teach you a lot of things. So that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. Hope you guys have liked it. If you still have any confusion, any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.